Hello everybody, it's Sarah and welcome to day 14 of Bookmas. And in a second you will see me looking quite different because while I've been really great with uploading daily during Bookmas and also been really great at pre-filming video and not putting myself under stress, I have not been so great at keeping order among my clips that I have already filmed and that I have already pre-filmed. So I accidentally deleted some clips that I still needed, among them the intro to this video, obviously, and also a few of my vlog clips of the Birding God, which, you know, is less easily rectified than this one. But anyway, what is today's video? Today I thought I'd share with you my general most anticipated releases for 2021. I already did a video of my most anticipated releases as far as adult fantasy written by women goes, and I will leave that video linked down below and up there. So definitely go and check it out. So this video is just going to be YA fantasy. It's gonna be some non-fantasy stuff, some miscellaneous genres. It's gonna be some adult fantasy written by men, and just, you know, my general most anticipated releases for 2021. And so let's get started with the first book that was still on the clip that was lost, and then we'll go to Old Sarah. Also, before I get started, I again have quite a few books on my list, so I won't tell you too much about each book. However, just as with my other video, all the links to the Goodreads pages of the books will be linked down below, so if any book sounds interesting to you, you can instantly go and check it out on Goodreads. But yeah, the first book was The Forever Sea by Joshua Philip Johnson. Yeah, Joshua Philip Johnson. I have my handy dandy college block here. That's also where I'm looking if I'm looking down a lot during this video. So The Forever Sea by Joshua Philip Johnson, that comes out on the 19th of January, and this is called an environmental epic fantasy, which I have never heard about. I've heard about environmental sci-fi, but environmental epic fantasy not so much. So that's what really caught my eye, and then also this beautiful cover right here. It's just gorgeous. So I'm really excited to get to this as soon as possible. The second book that I want to talk about is also on the 19th, and that is The Root of Ice and Salt by Jose Luis Zarate. This is a translated work from Spanish, although I haven't found out if the author is Spanish or if he is from South America, but the original language is Spanish in any case. And this is a queer Dracula retelling, but following Dracula on his route from Transylvania to London. And so yeah, just sounds really interesting. Then on the 26th we have A Vow So Bold and Deadly, which is the third book in the Cursebreaker series. I have the first two books right here, the two shiny spines here. The first book was A Curse So Dark and Broken. I wasn't a fan of the second book. It was one of my most disappointing reads in 2020, but I still wanna finish the series, so I just wanna see how it ends. And this is, have I said it, this is by Bridget Camera. Moving on to February, on the 2nd we have On Fragile Waves by E. Lily Yu. This is magical realism following two siblings, I think it's two siblings, yeah, two siblings fleeing from Afghanistan during the war to Australia, and of course there's some magical realism elements in there. And yeah, I haven't read that much literature yet centering the Middle East, so that's something that just interests me generally, but also this cover is beautiful, and yeah, I just thought I might want to read this. On the 9th we have The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna, which is YA African inspired fantasy, and there's already been a lot of buzz around this on Twitter this year, and that's mainly the reason why I have this on my list, but also because I don't know, I really love this cover. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love turquoise so much, and just the combination of colors on this cover is chef's kiss. On the 18th we have The Black Coast by Mike Brooks, and I said I'm not that interested anymore in reading adult high fantasy written by men, but one word why this is on my list: war dragons. Like, I'm sorry, it's dragons, okay? It's dragons. But yeah, this, I don't know anything about this, but it has war dragons, and also I really like the cover of this one as well. 2021 has a lot of really gorgeous covers, not gonna lie. On the 23rd I have A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is YA urban fantasy, and the reason why it's on this list is, first of all, once again, the cover. Although the more closely I look, the more I just kind of feel like the wings just look like two big claws hanging over her. But the second reason is it's queer, it's sapphic. And I don't know, I just finally want to find my YA sapphic fantasy that I really love, and so far I haven't found it yet, and I've been really disappointed by every single one I've read. And damn it, I just want to find my YA sapphic fantasy, okay? I know I'm not a YA reader anymore, but I don't know, I feel like I owe it to young Sarah. I feel like I do, okay? By the way, our first March book is in the same vein. It's on the 9th of March, and it's by Adrienne Tooley, and it's called Sweet and Bitter Magic. And again, the only reason why this is on the list is because it's sapphic YA fantasy. And I don't know. I won't give up until I find one that I really love. On the 23rd, we have Lost in the Netherwoods by Aidan Thomas. This is a dark Peter Pan retelling that obviously also is queer, and I really enjoyed Cemetery Boys this year by Aidan Thomas, so I'm sure I will enjoy this one again as well. On the 30th of March we have a book in a genre that I absolutely never read, and that's called She's Too Pretty to Burn by Wendy Hurd, and this is a YA thriller, YA sapphic thriller. And I don't read thrillers a lot. I read YA more than I read thrillers, but I also don't read a lot of YA, and I have never read a YA thriller. However, this is apparently inspired by The Picture of Dorian Gray, and The Picture of Dorian Gray is my favorite book of all time, so I kinda have to pick it up, you know? Just no choice. Then we're jumping over April, because apparently I don't have any releases that I'm excited for in April. But on the 6th of May we have One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and again, I also don't read romance like at all. But I really enjoyed Red, White and Royal Blue like almost everyone else, and so I thought I'd pick up One Last Stop anyway, because, you know, why not? Why not? Maybe I just need to read sapphic romances instead of sapphic fantasy romances. Maybe that's something I'd enjoy more. I just talked through the second half of my list for nothing because I didn't notice that my camera had stopped recording. But anyway, moving on. The next book we have is Son of the Storm by Suyi Davis Okumbowa, which is on the 11th of May. And this one is an African-inspired adult epic high fantasy. And gotta be honest, my main reason for wanting this is once again the cover, because look at how gorgeous this is. But aside from that, I like to go into my high fantasy pretty blind, so I don't know that much about it. But I'm excited in any case, because again, pretty cover. I'm very easy to please with a visually pleasing cover. Moving on to June, and we're gonna start out with two books that are gonna be published, I think 7 days apart, and that both have the first same sentence on Goodreads explaining them, and that is for fans of Naomi Novik's Uprooted and Spinning Silver, as well as Catherine Arden's, I forgot what, the Girl and the Tower, I think is the first book. But like, you know the trilogy I mean, the one that's so hyped that I still need to read. But anyway, the first of those two books is The Wolf and the Woodspine by Ava Reid. This does not have a cover yet, and I only know that this is inspired by Hungarian history as well as Jewish mythology, which sounds really interesting. And then the second one is For the Wolf by Hannah F. Witten on the 18th, oh no, 15th of June. By the way, the first one, if I didn't say it, was on the 8th of June. But For the Wolf on the 15th of June, and this I think is a Red Riding Hood retelling. I mean, as far as the title goes, as in combination with that cover is, yeah, pretty obvious, I would say. Then we have probably one of the sequels I'm most excited for in 2021, and that is Wings of Shadow by Nikki Pau Preto. This is the third and final book in the Crown of Feathers trilogy. And yeah, I'm really excited for this. Again, gorgeous cover. And it comes out, let me tell you, on the 13th of July. Which, by the way, again, as in my last anticipated releases video, we're getting less releases in the second half, or I know of less releases in the second half of 2021, and I will probably do another video in June sometimes when we know more about releases that are upcoming in the later half of 2021. Then on the 24th of August we have Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno Garcia, which I'm excited for despite my reading experience with her so far having been 50-50. I didn't like Mexican Gothic, I really loved Gods of Jade and Shadow, but this one is probably again historical fantasy set in the 20th century, I would guess, and it's vampires in Mexico, so you know, that sounds amazing. And actually, the next book as well is a vampire book, and that is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff, which should have come out this year, but was pushed back to 2021. It comes out on the 16th of September. And yeah, 2021 seems to be the vampire year because I have quite a few ones on this list. Like, I have 3 ones on this list, I had 1 on my other list. So yeah, loads of vampires. They're making a comeback. And then the last 2 releases, we do not have any dates or months yet. The first of those is Nowhere by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 3rd book in the Skyward series, which I'm really excited for. My guess would be that it's probably gonna be released in November again, because that's usually when Brandon Sanderson's books come out. But yeah, YA, space opera, love it. And then the last book I'm excited for is The Excalibur Curse by Kirsten White, which is the 3rd book in the Camelot Rising series. So that's an YA Arthurian retelling. That's also something that I'm excited for. And again, no release date yet, but I would assume it's November, December again, since the first 2 books both came out around that time. And yeah, with that said, that was all the releases that I'm excited for so far. Tell me in the comments down below if you have any more releases that you're excited for and that you think I'd be excited for as well, maybe. And with that said, if you enjoyed this video, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media are in the description box down below, so go and check those out. All the links to my book club of Queens, Witches and Valkyries, where we read 1 adult high fantasy written by a woman per month, are also in the description box down below, so go and check those out as well. And I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!